Hi everyone, this is Aaron Cap DeBoss at DeBoss Fine Jewelry in Mandeville, Louisiana. We are hiring a jeweler's position and we put out an APB for a jeweler. We've gotten a lot of interest and I'm getting a lot of the same questions, so I wanted to make a quick video to be very clear about what we are looking for. We are looking for one of three different types of jewelers, or possibly two. Two of the three, let me clarify that. Like a level one jeweler would be someone who has basic jewelry training and needs some grooming, some basic experience, but you're really not capable of running a workshop. That's okay. If you have a respect for the tools and respect for the work and you're looking to learn and you want to work, I can use a person like you because I can train you into the best jeweler that you could possibly be. And who knows what that is. So that's one type. The other type is an experienced jeweler who has the basics under control and can handle a workshop alone, doing repairs, basic settings, sizings, and pretty much all the things that come along with the day-to-day operations of a fine jewelry workshop. The third type of jeweler would be a high level, high craft, what you would call a genuine master jeweler, someone with extraordinary skill, but still not too good to size a ring, because this is the real world and everything is not as perfect as we would always like it. So you have to have flexibility. And I know a lot of really high level jewelers have really high standards, which is why they become so good at what they do. But along with that comes sometimes unreasonable expectations of what the work should be. So if you are a high level jeweler, we would love to talk to you, but you got to understand we live and we work in the real world. This is not an ideal environment and everything is not perfect all the time. So if you need that, it's probably not going to work out for you. Let me show you the showroom and then we'll go back and we'll look at the workshop. We sell new jewelry, custom jewelry, and antique and estate jewelry. Our antique and estate collection consists of pieces from the 1880s to the 1980s. And you have to be able to modify these pieces for sizing, and you have to be able to make small repairs on these things. I usually don't like to sell junk, but you know how old stuff is? Sometimes it needs work. We have new pieces on display here, and we have a lot more in the back. We have loose gemstones by the thousands. We do a lot of custom work. We don't do a lot of wild stuff. Most of the stuff that we do is pretty traditional, a nice center stone with accents, nice center stone with stones around the top. This is Southern Louisiana. People like traditional jewelry here, but we make it really nice and we use good materials. Come check it out. Here's the workshop. So this is our side workshop. This is where we keep the laser engraver and laser cutter. We also have an electric rolling mill, which is fantastic. I love this machine. That's an extra jewelry bench where my son, who's 13, does his work. This is a wax carving station because you never know when you need to carve a wax. I still do it. Sometimes you have to. We do not sell watches. But we do service watches, really basic watch services. We do batteries, gaskets, bands, adjustments to bands, polishing, small repairs to class, things like that. We really are not much of a timepiece company. We're primarily working in jewelry, and I want to keep it that way. We use two benches. One bench is for grinding, soldering, cutting, basically your dirty work, and then the other one has a scope and GRS and a micromotor handpiece, and this is where you're going to do your finer clean work. We have a laser welder here. Then this is the other jeweler station. This is where I work, so I do the same thing. I have my cutting, grinding, soldering, and then all of my setting work is done over here with the scope, any fine setting. I still do set at this bench sometimes when I got to do big stuff, but that's how we do it. What else can I tell you? Oh, my favorite part, one of my favorite parts of the shop, this island. We have our ultrasonic. This is a Crest ultrasonic. This is the finest ultrasonic I have ever seen, ever. We have a ultrasonic, pickle pot, magnetic tumbler, and rhodium plating all in one area, and there's a vent above it in this overhead piece here. The vent is hooked in with the light, so when you flip the lights off, it stops running. When you flick them back on, it comes back on. That way you don't accidentally forget to turn the vent on. So we have good ventilation. I realized early on that nobody wants to be sucking on ammonia and pickle pot fumes and rhodium plating solution, so I don't want it in me and I don't want it in you. So we have the vent system here. Our steamer is located inside the island, and that keeps the heat from the steamer captured inside this island. And what does vents out a hole here and goes up through the vent. But you have a foot control here, and the steamer blows into the sink. I really like this. It works very well. Let me show you our polishing setup. We have this little mini split lap jewel tool. This thing is fantastic. It really is. If you're considering getting one out there, highly recommend them. We have our polishing setup, all of our polishing equipment, the buffs and the compounds that go with the separate buffs and compounds. Everything is in its own drawer, so that way we keep everything separated. We don't get a lot of contamination. You cannot high polish with a buff that has triple E on it. It won't happen. We have dust collection built into the system, so when you turn it on, the dust collector comes on at the same time. You can hear it running, and when you turn it off, it runs for just a moment, and then it turns off. It really keeps the shop clean. This is a fantastic system. I love it. We have a little anvil. I love this shear. Got a little ring bender. This little dude, don't use it all the time, but boy, when you need it, it's fantastic. We have a small rolling mill because everything doesn't need to be automatic. Sometimes you need a little small piece done. Power hone, and then here we have another vent hood that we use for venting when we're using the big torch. It's pretty awesome. It's got a light built in it. Got our furnace here for doing our burnouts or anything you need a furnace for. We do enamel from time to time, not very often, but I do some enamel, and it's fantastic. This oven's wonderful for it. We have an electric centrifugal casting machine that is phenomenal. We do not do all of our casting in-house, but when we do it, this machine gets the job done. What else can I tell you? Oh, this is our rhodium plating system right here. It's a really, really neat system. Keeps everything all in one place. And there's a steamer. So to fill the steamer, you just open these doors and fill the little guy right up. Oh, come see the supplies. So we keep all of our sizing stock right here where both jewelers can get at it. You need to have sizing stock in good supply. We have wire. We have sheet stock here, we have square stock, we have rectangular stock, we have just about everything you could imagine or want or need. We have white gold, everything's separated. 22 karat, rose gold, 18 karat. All of my solder I keep in a little box right here. I have just about every kind of solder you can imagine. I do not believe in working in a ill-stocked workshop. It's not necessary. Supplies. All of the finishing supplies that you could possibly need, little grindy wheels, different grits, different colors, mandrels, all of that stuff is separated into style and type in different boxes. All of our setting burrs, drill bits, saw blades, all set into boxes and organized here. So when we need something, we know very quickly if we have it or not. And if we need to order new, then we can do it. So that's the shop, you guys. If you or someone you know might be right for the position, let us know. Get in contact with us. You can find us online at deboscajewelry.com. You can send us a message. You can call the store, 985-674-0007. Any questions you got, hit me up.